In November 2013, the overall goals for comprehensively deepening reform was set by the third plenary session of the 18th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China in Beijing. They are to perfect and develop socialism with Chinese characteristics and modernize the country's system of governance and governing capabilities. Despite the dangerous seas and the treacherous shoals ahead, reforms are advancing steadily and vigorously in every field. Restructuring the economic system is a key focus in comprehensively deepening reform. The core issue is managing the relationship between the government and the market. The third plenary session of the 18th CPC Central Committee stated that the market should play a decisive role in the allocation of resources and the government should play a more effective role. This assertion represented another great theoretical leap forward by the CPC. Reforms in response to calls from the people.
最多跑一次就是为了解决老百姓、企业办事难、办事烦。
从原来的要跑很多趟，到变成了只要跑一趟，到现在的不用跑。现在政府真的发生了很多的变化。
The reforms are not simply resolving current challenges, they're also designed for the long term. In February 2018, the third plenary session of the 19th CPC Central Committee passed two documents. Both were aimed at deepening the reform of the party and government institutions. The reform involved the systematic and comprehensive restructuring of party and government institutions and management systems. It represented an important symbol of political and government reform in the new era. Land ownership has always been at the heart of reform in the Chinese countryside. In November 2016, the opinions on improvements to the method of separating the rights of ownership, contracting, and the management of rural land was issued. This was the biggest innovation in land reform in rural China since the adoption of the household responsibility system.
这有了这个政策，我们就放心了，就大胆地看，长期的稳定的投入。
The third plenary session of the 18th CPC Central Committee accelerated the reform of household registration. The goal of granting permanent urban resident status to 100 million migrant workers has now almost been achieved.
我们的生活算是真的融入到城市里面了。
In China today, the main framework for comprehensively deepening reform, consisting of multiple pillars in every field, has basically been established. Reform encourages opening up, and opening up advances reform. From north to south, from the coast to the hinterland, China has established 18 free trade zones over the past 6 years. The country is opening its arms even wider to the world. It is making greater contributions than ever before to an open world economy.
改革开放已走过千山万水，但仍需跋山涉水，必须同揽伟大斗争、伟大工程、伟大事业、伟大梦想，勇立潮头，奋勇搏击。
Our results have proven that reform and opening up have been essential in helping the CPC and the Chinese people keep abreast of the times. It's the only path that allows the country to stick to and develop socialism with Chinese characteristics.